Well, happening this week, the 118th session of Congress officially kicked off. Lawmakers in the nation's capital are expected to take up many issues this year, and the Farm Bill is among them. Farm bills are a unique opportunity for politicians to work together to address the short and long-term needs facing agriculture. Back at the Nebraska AG Expo, attendees heard a unique perspective on the Farm Bill from a person who has administered, proposed, and passed 3 different farm bills. Former Senator and Secretary of Agriculture Mike Johanns detailed the people, politics, and policy within the Farm Bill. He spoke with my colleague Chad Moyer following his presentation, noting that Republicans and Democrats each have control of a chamber.
But in the end, both sides know that the only way a farm bill is going to get done is if it's bipartisan. You can't pass a Republican farm bill. You can't pass a Democrat farm bill. It's truly going to have to be a collaborative effort when it's all said and done.
What about the leaders in both the House and the Senate? There are some that you had worked with in the past as you worked and helped craft some farm bills. What do we know about the leaders in both the House and the Senate?
On the Senate side, it'll be Debbie Stabenow, and she's great. I mean, she was chair when I was there. She was chair during the last farm bill. She knows her way around. So she's very good, and she knows she has to work with Republicans. The ranking member on the Senate Ag Committee is a gentleman by the name of John Bozeman. John's a good friend. He's based in Arkansas. That's where he comes from. So as I said in my comments, John will take care of southern crops, but he knows also to get a farm bill done, got to get 60 votes. That means it's going to have to be a bipartisan bill. On the House side, change. We go from Democrats in majority to now Republicans. So it'll be a gentleman by the name of Thompson out of Pennsylvania. He will be the chair of the House Ag Committee, and then the former chair, I believe, will become the ranking member.
Let's talk about the policy of the next farm bill. As you look at what will the substance be of the next farm bill, at least what you think or what you gather, is it going to be revolutionary, or will there just be some updates in nature?
I think it's going to be more evolutionary. I don't think you're going to see a tear up the old farm bill and start fresh sort of approach. A lot of programs are working well. Crop insurance would be a perfect example. There are some things that need to be fixed in crop insurance, but having said that, it's a program that farmers are used to, and it has worked well. Here's the battleground, though, and not a lot of people are connected to this, but about 84% of the spending in the Farm Bill isn't for farm programs or conservation. It's actually for nutrition, and most of that goes into what used to be the food stamp program, now the SNAP program. And Democrats won't want to give up on any of that. So I'm just telling everybody that's where the arm wrestling is going to occur until they figure out the path forward.
Now, there are some things that are being talked about in agriculture these days, like regenerative agriculture, and how does the Farm Bill connect with some sustainability or climate change goals? Do you think that's going to be played out in the next Farm Bill?
Yeah, and again, I don't want this to sound like I'm being hyper partisan here, but the reality is Democrats tend to favor strings attached to conservation that would have a positive impact on climate change type issues. Republicans are much more reluctant. Again, I don't see major changes here. I think you'll hear a lot of talk and a lot of debate about it, but in the end, I think you'll see kind of our standard programs.
There are 5 individuals from Nebraska that are elected to represent the state federally in Washington, D.C. How is the representation from Nebraska and to a greater extent maybe the Midwest in crafting the next Farm Bill?
You know, our House members and our senators, they'll play a huge role. I mean, they're from a major ag state, but if I were going to highlight someone, a couple of people, Deb Fisher's just got so much experience, so much credibility. She's got this huge ag pedigree. I mean, when she speaks, people listen because that is her background. She comes from ranch country, and so she speaks with tremendous amount of authority. She's on the ag committee. She'll have influence. And then on the House side, I think all 3 members, even the newest member, Congressman Flood, are going to have influence. no doubt about it. But I would single out Adrian Smith, Don Bacon. They are powerful forces on this kind of debate. So no question about it. The Nebraska delegation will have influence on this farm bill. And then at some point we'll find out who the new senator is. Believe me, they're going to get thrown in the middle of this very quickly.
Thank you for your comments. Appreciate it very much. Again, Mike Johanns, former senator, former Secretary of Agriculture, was on hand in Lincoln at the Nebraska AG Expo, giving folks an opportunity to hear at least his perspective on how the Farm Bill discussion is going to unfold come in 2023. Chad Moyer reporting.